Stephen, let's talk prospects now. And this is another guy I feel like we've been talking about a lot throughout the preseason, but he sort of made himself impossible not to notice. Matt Coronato on the Calgary Flames, one of the stars absolutely of the preseason. What are you noticing in him right now that has you so excited?
Well, it's just kind of the way he's just taking control. When you look with him in Calgary, I think everyone knew he was going to be there. But what role was he going to have this year with the team? And I'm not sure I expected top six right away. But he's a smaller guy, 5'10", doesn't really throw a ton of hits, but he's got the speed, the skill, and everything you're looking for there. And there were a lot of points last year where I looked at Sean Farrell in the Montreal Canadiens prospect at Harvard and said, like, this guy is going to be awesome. But Coronado would then steal my eye. He's a goal scorer. He puts up a lot of goals. We saw that in the preseason. He got to play one NHL regular season game last year to get a bit of a taste of what it was like there. And I think, for him, what really stood out to me was his play at the World Championship. I know you don't love that event, but he really proved he can play against quality pro players and take control. And he was playing on the power play. He was shooting from everywhere. He was putting up some good numbers. He was one of the best players for the United States. And I think that with this start of the season here, he's got an opportunity. He's riding the hype train. Like, he could start off really well here, and I wouldn't be surprised because, again, the preseason is the preseason, but he still looked like the best Calgary Flame, and he still looked like the best rookie for sure. So I think Coronado is someone who's just, he knows how to put pucks in the net. You're not going to rely on him to play a physical game, maybe not even defensively, but if you put him in those scoring opportunities and you give him the guys to set him up there, I think this is someone who, 45 points, 50 points this year is not out of the question, for sure. And Calgary's a team that wants to push themselves back in the playoffs. They definitely believe they could still do it. They still have a decent core. They need everyone to kind of start moving. I think a few of the distractions that we saw maybe at the beginning of the summer where some of those guys might not come back. We've seen a few re-signings. We've seen a bit more clarity, I think, in the situation for the Flames. I think that's, there's some promising moments here coming up, and I think Coronado's going to be a big part of that. So I like him a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you, and it's kind of exciting to see the shift away from the Daryl Sutter "no kids can ever play" philosophy, and I think it's encouraging if you're a Flames fan just to see that from Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska. And I will give you credit, Stephen. The World Championship, I don't love it as a tournament in terms of what it proves, but as a proving ground for young players, we saw what it did for Dylan Cousins. Great World Championship, then busts out with the Sabres,
Mhm.
and I actually have. Tabbed JJ Peterka as a sleeper for this year as well because
Good
he had a
call.
great World Championship last year. So I am a believer in the World Championship bump when it comes to young players.
I will say, like, this is going to be a little bit more out of left field, but William Nylander, after he signed that deal with the Leafs and played like some of his worst hockey we've seen him play in his pro career, goes to the World Championship, has one of the best performances I've seen, and he talked about how that confidence there really helped him going into the summer, and then he played very well. I think it was at the time the next year was his best NHL season at the time. So things like that, you can get that confidence back and show like, yeah, I could do this. That goes a long way, even if there's a long summer. But it's better going into the summer like with all this confidence, like, oh, I didn't just end the season on like a disappointing college loss. It's like, no, I proved I could play against quality competition. I had a chance to play for a medal. Things like that can go a long way, I think.
For sure. Well said.